Hey guys, it's me, the Jasonaut, and I'm about to land on a planet in Astroneer, a new game. I'm going to show you a few things about the beginning of the game that'll probably help you through your adventure. I just landed on this planet. I need to get out of this dropship. Push F. And it's putting together my base. And this is where we start, with a shelter and a landing pad. And my astronaut. The first thing you want to do is probably notice that you are tethered, this blue line, to your base, to your shelter. And if you wander too far away, you're going to be untethered, which means you're not getting oxygen. And that oxygen is represented by this blue line on your backpack. We'll go down little by little. It'll happen pretty fast if you're busy out in the environment. We'll look at this backpack. If you push Q, bring up your backpack, you'll see the 10 nodes, which include these 8 and these two spots right here, where you can carry things and you can build things in your backpack down here. I just got a notification right there. It was a little bloop of I was halfway through my oxygen. You'll see your little shop vac, your gun, I'll just call it a gun, which sucks up things from the environment, the elements, and the ground. It can also do a little terraforming later on when you get that enabled. There's my other notification that I am quarter oxygen left. But I have 1, 2, 3, technically 4 spots on this gun to also hold things from the environment. I'm running out of oxygen. I'm running out of oxygen. I'm running out of oxygen. Now I am technically suffocating, as it says. I'm not going to die right away. I got a couple more seconds to get back to base. Ugh. Get this oxygen or I'll die. But I'm going to go ahead and let myself croak. Pass out. Oh, he does a little dance. He dies. You're going to end up right back at shelter. Come right back out. And you haven't lost anything except for what was in your backpack. Here's my backpack. So whatever you had in your backpack, that's what you will leave there. If I were to be off in the distance, if I was looking for where I died, where I passed out, you will see a marker in the distance. This little space helmet looking thing is where you passed out, where you died. This is a marker for your base to keep track of where you need to get back to if you're not tethered like I am right now. And if you die multiple times, your items will still stay there. But you won't get multiple. If I died again right now, this marker would not be there anymore. It'd be one marker, but my stuff would still remain. You don't lose anything else. There's no RPG elements in this game, so you're not losing any kind of technical progress or levels of anything. No items on your base will be gone. You just reappear back here. And you can die from oxygen deprivation or fall damage. There are a few things that attack you in the environment that could also cause you to expire. But when you first start out, what you're going to want to do is interact, stay tethered, but interact with the landing pad and the shelter. The shelter is saving point. The game auto saves, but if you just want to make sure you're up to date on your progress, go ahead over here, push F, saving. There's a little prompt there for about a quarter of a second. You saw it was saving. Now, to interact with the environment, you have this cursor. I'm playing on PC with a mouse and keyboard. And it's going to be a little bit tricky to interact with things in the environment in general because you're dealing with right-clicking and moving the camera around. If you right-click, hold right-click, and then you can move the camera around. Just, working around the environment with the cursor and clicking to interact, left-click to interact with things. So it can be tricky to figure out the depth of when you grab something and, oh, this is not going to move. You'll notice in a minute. It can be a little bit tricky, but just know, camera, hold down the right mouse button, scroll around, and with the cursor. You do not have to be right beside things, except for this. I don't think you can go right to the base. Yeah, you have to be right up on the base to get in there, and you have to be close to your rover, your buggy, if you build one, to get into it. But you'll use F, the same thing, but you have to be close to it. Everything else, basically, you don't have to be right up on it. I don't have to be right up on this to use this. Just make sure your cursor is on it. Push F. Bring up the the launching pad's initialize the cargo drop. This will give you your first 3 items to use. Boom. You can just redo it if you want. Boom, same thing, same items. And if you get them out by, you're just left clicking, moving in the environment. The depth is the trickiest part. Where, like, how far are you putting it? Like, are you higher up or are you farther out? Sometimes it's hard to tell, but basically you take these out and you'll unbox these to have the items. Just they come in a box. You unbox them. You got something you can use. Now, just to show you, if you ever want to reset this, you don't want to move these all around again, and you just want to get these basic items back again, it's a fresh start almost. You can just push this button, puts them right back here. But we're going to take them out. We're going to start building our base a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is a platform, a printer, and an oxygenator. Platform is going to be the building block for most everything. Needs a platform. Every machine that you make, whether it's a printer or a research chamber or any numerous things, you're going to want to put it on a platform because it won't work otherwise. Let's go ahead and I was untethered there for a second. Make sure I'm tethered. All right, there's the medium printer. You can tell by the bottom of it how many nodes it needs to work with. It'll just snap on if it can fit. You don't really need to check the bottom of it so much. You'll figure out what goes with what. This is a medium platform. There's a small, medium, and large platform. And this is a medium printer. There's small, medium, and large printers to build bigger and bigger things. And this over here, oxygenator. Let's open this up. Now, I don't have a platform for this. It does need a platform, but I can just use the base. It has little 2 nodes right here. And you also need power for these items. Let's see if I can get this to fit in there. There we go. It'll get power from the base. This platform needs power to power this printer. And that's what these are for. Cable plugs. You can either pull it from the base or from the platform. On the platform, it has 1 on each side. So 4 of them. And you just connect it. Get a little click. You'll see the line of yellow power going into the platform. And you can chain these platform to platform to platform. You only have a certain amount of power you're working with in your base unless you add more power coming in. But generally, you can just chain platforms together. Oxygenator is going to just provide more oxygen. It's another point to have oxygen. You can have these farther on in the environments later on. You can have these not necessarily attached to your base and provide oxygen at a farther location. But for now, just connected to the base. And we're going to look at this printer, interact with it. Again, you don't have to be right on it. You can just be right here and press F. And when you pull this up, you can interact with it as a virtual machine by using the cursor to select left and right, or the button here. But you can also go left and right with the up and down keys or WASD keys if you want. I can build a large printer, large platform, or a research chamber right now. That's all I have. I'll have to unlock more things to build or have a different size printer to print different things. But one of the first things I want to make is a research chamber. It's going to take 1 resin and 2 compound elements. And to make these bundles of elements, 1 bundle, I guess you would call it, you have to get it from the environment. So we're going to go into the environment, start using our little, I like to call it a shop vac or a gun. I don't think that's a technical name for it either way. But you push E, pull it out, and we're going to go and find some, as I'm untethered now. I thought I saw something around here. Let's stay close to base for a second. Take a look around. Is there any... So one of the first things you're going to want to do as far as finding elements in the environment is find compound. Compound is going to help you. If I open up Q, you can see on the bottom of your backpack is where you can create some items, including tether bundle, oxygen filters, canister, small generator, beacon, work light, small printer. Okay. You can unlock more items as well. I'll show you how to do that in a minute in the research catalog. But I'm going to look for some compound to make a tether bundle, which is basically going to extend my oxygen rope there. So I think I saw some compound right over here. Let's push E and I get my little gun out there. Oh, there's some resin. I'll need that as well, but let's get this compound. Compound is gray, bubbly. Usually if you see a couple, there's going to be more underground if there's only a few. And you're going to need, like, one of these doesn't equal one bundle. You need several little clusters here to make a bundle. Let's just go ahead and get a little bit more. And you can hear, when I get enough, that boom, that means you have enough to make a bundle there. So, let's go back to the oxygen. Now I'm connected. Now let me make some of these tethers. And as I'm doing that, you can see power, which will recharge if I'm connected to that line. Let's make some more. And if I'm not connected to the line, to the base, the tether, my power will not recharge unless I have a solar or wind power connected on one of my nodes here. So, the tethers, along with oxygen, as you can see, it's feeding power. That's what the yellow, that's why it's all dotted there. I was getting power and oxygen. But mainly oxygen you have to worry about. Not worry too much early on about power that you're using. But now I have tethers. So I can journey out a little farther. I'm going to need resin as well to make the research chamber. Actually, you know what? I want to build a research chamber, but so I need more resin. I have plenty of compound. But I'm going to need a platform to put this on. So I need a large one. So I need 2 resin to make that, and then another resin to make the research chamber itself. So let's go get some resin. You're going to find there's a little bit of a rhythm. Walking away, it's going to be hard to tell where your last tether was. But a good way to remember, or a good rhythm to get into, is when you're walking, just walking, it goes away, you immediately pop one out. Now that didn't work because it's a little off. All right. But here, I'll try to do it. All right, let's go. There we go. Stopped. Boom. As soon as you see it disconnect, you get like maybe a second. But, oh, no, maybe a little bit less than a second. But anyway, you want to space them out as far as you want, because you're not, as you can, because you don't want to waste tethers. So basically it helps to spread them out as far as you can. I mean, you can always drop them, quick succession, but again, you're not really maximizing their area of effect. Let's get some of this resin. This is resin. And let's get it. I got 2 bundles, 3 bundles. Okay, all right, let's stop. We don't need any more than that, really, right now. Backpack's starting to fill up.
Let's bring that back.
In this game, you can sprint with shift and jump with spacebar. Kind of standard stuff. But yeah, you can jump and you can run. You can get in the way of the printer and it won't do anything. I think let me see, if I'm right here, I think it won't want to build. Let's see if I can't push the button to make it build, even though I have the components. If you're ever frustrated, you don't know why this green button isn't here. You either don't have power or you don't have, even if you have elements, you got to be out of the way. I figured this out recently. You can't be in the way of the printer. So you almost don't want to be too close to too many of these things you're interacting with. All right, so do the printer. And yeah, make sure you're not interacting with the platform necessarily if you're trying to use the printer. Actually, make sure you're on the printer. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make the platform first. Oh, wait a second. Why can't I do this? Is this not powered? Am I in the way still? Let's see. Oh, you know what? I think this is too close to the base, honestly. I need to move this whole thing out a little bit. All right, so let's move this. All right, let's give this thing some space, shall we? No pun intended. Okay. There we go. Move this around. So yeah, you may come across some little issues like that. You're wondering, like, why isn't this working? Check your power. Check that it's connected onto the platform in the right place, and it is snapped into position. Elements and something isn't in the way. So power on the right nodes, snapped into place. Make sure you have the right elements and that you're not in the way. Not everything needs room. The printers need the most room to build what they're going to build. So, all right, let's interact with this again. Now I can. It just says I don't have enough power because I did not connect it back. So there we go. All right, large platform. Build it. Not in the way. I have the elements. It's got power. There we go. That'll take a minute. And while it's doing that, I'll show you a little bit more about the backpack. So here's resin that I got and compound. Now, this compound is actually another compound. Like, it's a third bundle of compound. And it's just going to slide down here for your convenience to build. If you have the element to build whatever it is, like I have the compound to build tether bundles. Now I can build oxygen filters, which will give me a little extra oxygen when I'm untethered. I'll go ahead and make that. And you'll see it's taking a little power, but that'll charge back because I'm connected. So it just slides down here. It just slides these down here for convenience. So if you're ever wondering, where's your other, your third compound? It's just down here. But the other thing I want to show you about the backpack, you can bring this research catalog, which is right here, up with tab. Even if you're not in your backpack, you just push tab, you'll open this. And this is just basically unlocking the ability to make new things. And you can scroll through this again as a virtual machine here, or just with your WASD keys or your up and down keys. And blue is unlocked. You have unlocked it with bytes. We'll get into bytes in a minute. And the pink is not unlocked yet. You can tell like something like the power cells take 800 bytes. Now these different categories, larger elements. So you can build something as big as another shelter. Small shuttles, larger things, slightly smaller. And in fact, this section is things that you can build out of your backpack. Yeah, that's pretty much it. When you can unlock something, say I had 1,600 bytes, there'd be a green spot right there to do it. Now, let's see. This is the platform. Okay. Let's actually start it on the research chamber itself as well. Okay. Start making that. Okay, let's move this out of the way. All right, so unpack and put this bad boy on top of here. And you can see, let's see, I'll take it off again. See in the bottom of this, needs four nodes to be able to fit in. Boom. But you'll just get used to what's going to fit on what. You'll just have to mess around and know that you're going to need platforms for basically almost everything. And that's connected to power. We're good. Now we just need something to research. Now, the research chamber, via researching, will give you bytes. The bytes that in here are the resource I need to unlock new builds. Let's find some things to research. Let's go ahead and follow my tethers out. I don't know if there was something out here or not. I bet there was. Okay, so one way to get bytes through research is these things. There'll be different colors, different places on different plants, but they'll basically look this same kind of circle pattern and point out here. You don't have to be right on it again. You can just, as long as you have a cursor on it, push F to research, and then you get 22 bytes, 24 bytes, and you see we have 46 bytes. Now, I could have brought those back. Let me see if I find some more. I can bring those back and research them for a little bit more credit in the research chamber. See if I can find a little bit more. But it's generally going to come across so many of these little things here, samples. Like you could just grab it out of the environment, put it in your backpack, and bring it back to research for more bytes. I don't know how much more bytes, what the ratio is, but it's usually not worth it for me unless you have a lot of research chambers, because these things will grow back, and they're fairly plentiful. So you can just kind of hit those while you're running through the environment. What you're going to get the most points or most bytes from are these giant seeds or mounds that you'll find in the environment. They're just basically called, what do they call them? Research item. Compatible with research chamber. So you can put it in your hand. If you hold it, you cannot run as fast. You can't walk as fast if you're just holding it out like this. So you're going to want to bring it close to your body. He'll have his hands reached out. You can kind of see it there. Put it in his hands, and he can walk faster with it. This you cannot, I don't believe, let's make sure, but you cannot research in the, you can't research just out in the environment. F doesn't do anything with this, so you're just going to put it back in your hands. And if you jump, you're fine, but if you're falling or sliding in the environment, you will drop this, so be careful. These things will be different colors, slightly different shapes. Sometimes they're like almost crystal looking. They could be green. They could be red. They could be all kinds of different colors. But basically the same general size. You'll be able to pick them out. Let me set this down. Let me get this node here. See, you can fit it in one of these spots there. You can go ahead and research it if you really want to. Go ahead and let's make this less complicated here. All right, so it says it's going to take 5 minutes to do this. And you can research it. Boom. Now, that 5 minutes is going to vary depending on how much power you have at your base. The more power you have, the faster it will do whatever it's doing. And those were going for what? About 20 on average. You can get 54 bytes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Nope. Stop it. You're going to lose the item if you do that. But it just was showing you that you can get more bytes. This thing's going to be worth a little bit more than that. How much? But 360, it looks like. It's going to take 14 minutes, so substantially longer. But again, if you get more power or less, if you have less power, it's going to take longer. If you get more power, it'll take less time. Let's explore the environment a little bit, actually. And if you ever want to, if you place too many tethers together like this, like I did, you're like, oh, I didn't want to waste those tethers. You can put them back in your backpack. I'm trying to switch. There we go. You can just grab it, put your cursor on it, and put it back in your backpack. See if I can reach these two. Oh, yeah, there we go. Go ahead and tether out this way. Be careful how much you tether. It could give your game some problems if you have too many tethers. I mean, you want to have oxygen, but just be careful how much you put out, because it's just another thing for the game to process and could take a toll on your CPU. It might be all right, but it might also cause some problems. Just beware if you have a billion tethers. There we go. This is what I'm talking about over here. So you'll come across a lot of these type of things. They could be like a buggy or something that just crashed, or a platform with something on it. Now, this is all junk. You can salvage it. If you build the right equipment, you can basically recycle and get some rewards from that. But occasionally, you will find something usable on these. So don't walk by any of these if you're not recycling, or all of these if you're not recycling. All right, another thing you will find in the environment are caves. You can dig down and just find yourself in a cave, or there'll be holes pre-made for you. And you want to be careful early on. If you don't have the right equipment, you could slide down and be basically stuck. Not only am I not tethered right now, which is dangerous, I might not be able to get up if I fall too far. You do take fall damage. If you fall too much, you could die, or just take some damage. And there are creatures that will release gas that could hurt you. If you're going to a cave, you're trying to find some elements that you're just not going to come across on the surface as much. So those are the basics of the game. There's a lot more to do, more skills to learn, but these are the basics, just to get around and start building things on your planet. Let me know what you'd like to hear about, or if you have any suggestions or corrections possibly about this video, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on a stream soon, or on another one of these videos. See you next time.